In another lesson, I showed you how to create a immutable list using the list of method. The list of method allows you to create a list of some primitives or objects or anything of that you desire. If you'd like to create a list in which you can change, because let's take a look at this, items does not have an add method. We can't add or change or remove or do anything of that nature with an immutable list. It's just there. It can't be changed. If we need to create a mutable list, we can do so with the mutable list of. And if we use mutable list of, we can provide a type if we'd like to, such as we can do with the list of operators. So if I know it's going to be int, then I can do that. And I could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then what will happen is type inference will kick in and the IntelliJ IDE will let us know saying, hey, we don't really need that explicit type argument. So let's go ahead and remove it. So at this point in time, based upon the parameters of the mutable list method, Kotlin can infer the types for this list. So now I have a mutable list of items. Now this works the same way if I have a list here. So if we just do list and we leave that, we'll notice that both these things are going to compile just fine and do the same thing. We have the same method for each. We can print those. The difference is here though, is that we can add an item here. So I can add the number 6 now. And then if I copy this and I kind of reiterate over this again, we'll see that I have 6 in here. So let's go ahead and print a line here so we can see that there's, something different. And let's run this. And what we'll see here is we print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to add an item here on number 6. And then I'm going to run it again, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can also do something else and we can say items.remove. And we could say a whole bunch of things here. We could remove if we meet a particular condition. We could remove all the items. We could remove a particular item. So I could remove element number 0, and we could print this off again. So what would happen here if we were to run this? So now we have a list where we have, to make this a little more clear, let's add this in here as well. And we'll run it again, and we'll see here that we have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, why didn't we get anything out of here? It's because we're asking it to remove a particular item. Now, it's not finding the item 0 in there. So let's tell it to remove number 3. So let's run that again. And then what we will see down here in the bottom window is it was actually found item number 3. So it didn't find 1, 2, or 3. It wasn't the index base. It was actually the item in the list that was removed. So that was able to be removed out of there. Now there's a whole bunch of other things now. We can replace items inside of here. We can replace all. We can add a whole bunch of them. So if we take a look at the implementation of add all, we can take another collection and add another one inside of here. So we can add a whole bunch of them. So if we have another list, we can add that list to it. We can remove something out of position. So let's say we want to remove this at position 0. Let's run this and see what happens. Now notice how this says index. So now we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to delete this stuff here just for brevity. And we'll run this again. And we'll see that we have 2, 3, 4, 5 is printed. Now if I were to change this to remove, just to reiterate here, and we could say we want to remove a particular element. I want to remove element that is the value of 3. Now we're going to see 1, 2, 4, 5 is the output down here in the bottom. So remove at removes it with an index. So inside of the index of the list, we can find something to remove. However, if we want to remove an actual item given its value, we'd say remove element. Now we can also say, we can do something with mutable list of objects as well. So we can say user Don Felker, which is something we have done before with the other types of list. And maybe we just have a user called Jane Doe. So now we have 2 things in here. And if we try to remove here and we use I'm using an index here because it's the number 3, even though it's saying, hey, you're wanting to remove something here. Removing int is an error. Use remove at index instead because it realizes, the compiler, that I'm trying to use a number here. So it's trying to help me out saying, hey, you sure you don't want to remove a particular index? Now what I could do, let me just go ahead and comment this out for a second. Inside of here is let me run this to show you what this looks like. We're going to get basically 2 users printed. If I wanted to pull this out into its own variable, I could do that and say pull it into a variable, and I could say Don. Now what I could do inside of here is I could say remove Don from the list. Now let's print this list and see what happens. What do you think we're going to see here? We're going to see we just have one item in the list, because what happens is we have these items. So let's actually do 2 things here. Let's do this. We'll print each one of there. And then inside of here, we're going to do a print line, and we'll just print out a little break there. And what we're going to see is both items are printed first, which we see here. And then we print this nice little line break. And then we say, hey, I want to remove Don from the list. Now remember, remove removes the element. It's going to tell the element that we'd like to remove. Remove at is going to tell us we want to remove an index. So I can say, hey, if I want to remove index 1, it's going to remove Jane Doe. Now if I run this here, we're going to see Don Felker and Jane Doe, and then we're going to remove Jane Doe, and it's just going to say Don Felker. Now there's a whole bunch, again, this is a mutable list, so I can continue to add and remove items accordingly, and the difference is it's mutable, it's changing. The other one is immutable. So if we want to do different types of things with it, you can inspect the various different operations using the code completion here. We can remove it out, we can replace things, we can set certain values. So if I would like to set the first value to equal a different user, I could say a different user is now going to be John Doe for whatever reason. So let's go ahead and change that and get this down here. Now what we're going to see at this point in time is I'm going to set the item 1 to John Doe. So the first time through, we're going to see Don Felker printed. And then the next time through, we're going to change the first, the item at index 1 to John Doe. So we'll see Don Felker, Jane Doe. We change it, and then it's Don Felker, John Doe. Now notice we have a little bit of squiggly here. Alt-Enter, and we'll say we can replace the set call with an indexing operator. So using the indexing operator, we can say actually take the first item in the index and replace it with this one. So it's the same exact code. This does the exact same thing as this. Now, we can also access these items via the index as well. So I might say print line, and I might want to do items 0. And that's going to print the first item. Now that's going to be the same exact thing as if I were to do a items.get, and I can provide the index. Now notice again, we're going to get the squiggly, and what IntelliJ is telling us here is that, hey, we can actually use the indexing operator. So go ahead and do that. Now that's how you create a very simple mutable list inside of Kotlin. You can create a mutable list of primitives, could be strings or integers, or it could even be something like an object itself.